All right, I'm Karen Bertolette. I'm a domestic engineer. And mom, grandmother, wife, caretaker. That's it.
Okay.
That's me.
I'm Jack Bertolette Jr., and that's important because there was a senior, and there's a third, and there's a fourth. So proud of that. I'm married 49 years to the love of my life, Karen, and we own a family business, a Volkswagen business for, this is our 57th year. Second generation, third generation is now taken over. We had a large family. You know, there were 6 brothers and sisters. We had lost one early in life. But back when my father started out, he was a one-man show. And he used to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, a lot of times before we would get out of bed. And he would come home for dinner. He had worked all day, and then he would change into a coat and tie and go back. He had a little used car lot, and then he would work till 9, even sometimes later. So I didn't see my dad a whole lot, and I idolized my father. I mean, I love my dad to death. I waited for the time when he would come home and run up the steps and kiss me goodnight, and I'd ask him what kind of day he had. So at a very young age in grade school, when they used to ask, what do you want to do? I always knew I wanted to be with my dad, and never, ever, ever regretted that. That was still a high point in my life. I think the one thing that always stuck with me was my dad told me, if you ever have someone that stumbles in life, be the first one there to extend a hand to help them up. And I remember one night during the week, Dad had left, and about 20 minutes came back and told me to jump in the car at work. And we drove down the street, and it goes, go back in there about 50 yards. There's a man that was hiking and went in there, and I think he needs help. And Dad had given me some money to help him. So I went back in there, you know, thinking, oh, this poor man, and had money to give him and try to help him. And it turns out he was just going to the bathroom. And he was a hiker, and he was hiking to the Appalachian Trail. So I asked if we could give him a ride, and he said, oh, that would be very kind of you. Unfortunately, I didn't expect the smell to be quite as bad. He hadn't taken a shower for quite a long time. My father, at that point, wasn't very happy, but that always stuck with me. I think everything that I got involved with, like certainly the church and the United Way, that's where we reach out, and that's where we help people, and that comes from my father. You know, you talk about generosity, and every time I would talk to somebody, they would say, we're praying for you. And I experienced that, which I could never, ever have imagined. But the morning of my surgery, it was 5 o'clock, and I'm laying in a room right outside of the operating room, and each doctor that was going to work on me came over and spoke to me. And there was a nurse present at all times. And after they were all finished, she came over and kind of sat on the side of the bed, and she goes, I noticed you're very relaxed. And I said, I am. I said, I'm extremely relaxed. And she goes, I want to share this with you. She goes, we see that a lot when people are praying for you. And it just shook me to the core, because I never thought of that. And it carried me through. It just carried me through that morning, the operation, the week after, until this very day. The fact that she would express that to me and remind me of all the people that were, you know, praying for me, and, you know, come on, let's get this over with and go on with life. And that's just what we did, you know. That's one thing for me. And yes, there's no question that for us, the church has been an outlet, because we truly feel everyone there is our family. We've experienced it over the years that we've been there. Our time in need, people are there. It's always been a positive place. I don't know how our people came together at the church, but everybody seems to have driven with this positiveness. We don't experience negativeness. Everybody said when we built a church, oh, this was going to be horrible. It was just the opposite. It was kind of uniting. You know, we were all excited to grow, and we were excited for the kids and excited for ourselves, and it's just a very positive place. So I think there's a combination of places, you know, home, certainly the church, and also your friends at work, you know, so we're fortunate.
No, I didn't teach confirmation. I like the littles. I like the little kids. They're so honest and so innocent. I probably learned more about them and their families than they learned from me about God and church.
But for me, my parents took me to Sunday school. They didn't go to church that often, but they made sure that all of us got to Sunday school. And there was a point in my life where I kind of went away from the church, but I had that foundation. And when I met her, her family was very strong in their faith. And one of the conditions were I had to go with her on Sunday if I wanted to date her, you know. So I did, and I was lucky enough to be able to go back and have that foundation. And that's what I want for all of our kids here in our family and our kids at church. I want them to have that foundation. I want them to be able to come back and know that if they have an issue, they can either come to us or they can talk to God. That's important to me. And our church, the support that we have from their families and their kids, it's amazing to see. And it's amazing to watch them grow up. I mean, it happens right in front of your face. So,
Absolutely.
so it means a lot.
I don't know, the saying that always sticks in my mind, and I don't have all the words right, but it's something like, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how big your bank account is, but it's about making the difference in a child's life or something like that. I can't come up with the right thing, but you know, there's a saying that goes, you know, just making a difference with a child is making all the difference in the world.